My name is Legion. I'm the chairperson of Circular Business Association, and this month you're in for a treat because one of the big waves that we've been waiting for several years has literally been hitting us hard in the past couple of months. If you've been waiting on the fence to say, should I do this, should I not do this? Well, now is the time to kick into action and get it done. One of the major news that came up in the last week or so was the announcement that in Malaysia, the National Sustainability Reporting Framework, which we call the NSRF, has been adopted, which means that legally, large public listed companies as well as the large non-listed companies with 2 billion ringgit income annually will be required to do sustainability reporting. And it's not just doing sustainability reporting like how it was in the past, where it's like voluntary, so long as you submit some sort of report, it'll be fine. Now, not only do you actually need to report on the financial aspects of whatever sustainability initiatives you've done, you're also required to do your climate disclosures. And it's not just scope 1 and scope 2. You actually are mandated by law now to actually report on your scope 3 emissions, which is the emissions that come from your value chain, not just the upstream value chain, but even the downstream value chain, and a total of 15 different categories in scope 3. Now, of course, Malaysia isn't the first country in the world to actually do this. There have been already news like our neighbors in Singapore already announced it earlier in the year. Of course, the big boys in the world have already jumped on board. It includes people like the European Union when they passed their Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, CSRD, back in 2023. In the US, SEC actually ruled in March this year that all public traded US companies also need to do mandatory reporting. Our latest addition to the big boy group, I guess, is China. Being such a big player, in May this year actually came up with the Chinese Sustainability Disclosure Standards for business enterprises. And what it means now is that companies who have been prepared with the type of reporting data that's needed for people to actually know, have clarity in terms of how their operations are contributing to emissions, where are the hotspots that they are working on and have been delivering results on, as well as the targets that they're moving ahead, right? Now actually have that sort of advantage. So you sort of have to imagine there's like a certain group of people that had already started earlier on. They're in the slightly more mature stage, but there are millions of companies that actually are sort of getting quite shocked by this, okay? Why this is like a big thing to take note of is that number one, sustainability reporting is no longer just a nice to have. It's actually now become like, this is just going to be like the standard company reporting, right? So like accounting standards, everyone has to follow accounting standards. So sustainability reporting standards, everyone's going to be able have to follow that, right? So because your jurisdiction has already adopted it, by law, you have to actually report. And the timeline is really short, right? So for the public listed companies, scope 1 and 2 should actually be more or less there already, right? So they have until 2026 to basically report all their scope 1 and 2s, and 2027 that they have to already report on their scope 3, which means that a lot of activity needs to happen in these 2 years in order for them to be prepared for 2027. If you are supplying to any of your end clients who will fall into that category of needing to do mandatory reporting, then you're most likely going to be one of the purchased goods and services that they purchase, right? I want you to imagine this. Now, imagine that three or four of your key clients suddenly send you this survey form, and each survey form is designed slightly differently. Even though they may have the same components, they may look different. They may be 10 and 20 pages long, and you somehow need to pick out the ones that you can answer, and you have to go and ad hocly go and collect the data. I mean, it's a lot of excessive time taken away from production, okay? And it's also like responding ad hoc. It requires you to like sort of understand what the client is trying to do. And if you want to customize it for each client, Can you imagine going for 4 different trainings on the methodology that your client wants to use, and 4 different trainings that tell you mostly the same things, but then maybe just differ a little bit, and your employees actually use that time to attend those trainings, trying to understand how to fill in the form instead of actually doing your core competency to deliver business value to your business? It's a lot, right? And also, what about, getting led by the clients in terms of what data to collect? Right? Sometimes some clients, they may have actually a good helping hand. So they're very clear what data they want. But then there are others who are like trying to do it DIY. And what if, you get told you need to do this and then suddenly say, oh, no, we need to do that. And that's a lot of time consumed as well. So you really want to be trying to take a more sort of proactive, offensive strategy instead of playing a defense and just waiting for the end client to make these requests from you. Of course, all of this is relatively new. It's evolving quickly. So a quick disclaimer that whatever I've shared here, is not advisory. You need to still do your own due diligence. You need to have those conversations with your clients. Every client might be different. And therefore, but this is sort of the general direction that is likely to be happening. We are continuing our efforts to provide ESG-Ready Level 1, especially if you know of anybody, including maybe even your clients, who are struggling to even understand that basic jargon, not even talk about reporting yet, or their suppliers are actually really struggling with that, and your end clients are actually saying, oh, I wish my suppliers could actually, understand what we're talking about just like you, then please direct them to ESG-Ready Level 1. The faster we can get people understanding the jargon and how it relates to their business, the faster we can move them into understanding how they could provide value to their clients, what sort of data would be suitable for them in ESG-Ready Level 2. With that, this is Li Jin, Chairperson of Circular Business Association. Thanks for joining us today. Bye.